Hello, my name is Marybeth Timmermann, and I'm a French to English translator. Today I'm going to read an excerpt from my translation of the second book in a 6-book series by French author Gabrielle Dubois. The series is called Elfie, after the main character, and it is a very exciting and fun romantic adventure set in the 1860s. What I find really interesting about the series is not only that it's very well researched and historically accurate, but also how it incorporates very interesting feminist themes throughout, as Elfie navigates this very sexist world of the late 19th century. She's trying to forge her own path and find herself, find love, find happiness, and most of all find freedom for herself while she's living in a society that's very restrictive for women. And she's just a very likable heroine who's very young and naive at the beginning due to her very sheltered upbringing. But she's so full of courage and kindness and humor and intelligence as she meets various people and travels around and has all her adventures. So this excerpt I'm going to read is from an article that Elfie has written for publication. And she writes under a male pseudonym because it's 1865, and so in the article she has to refer to herself as a man. And I chose this article, this part of the book, because it kind of explains some of her motivations and really shows her spunky determination. And it also gives a bit of foreshadowing for some of her adventures to come. So this is from Elfie Season 2, Episode 15 by Gabrielle Dubois. As for me, I do not want to be protected, guaranteed a life without worries, but without excitement either. I do not want to be that little golden cross made in a factory, identical to all the other crosses, hanging on golden chains around the necks of uniformed children. I want to become a unique jewel, springing out of my own imagination, forged in a new metal, in never-before-seen colors. Raised in this house by this family, I should have fit into their mold, which would have made me into a well-behaved, virtuous man, a good soldier. Instead, I alone transformed myself into a strange being, a prototype, a wild beast disguised as a city slicker. What breathed such uncontrollable urges into my heart? What planted in my head the idea that another path might perhaps exist? What painted before my eyes the images of oceans and far distant wonderlands waiting to be explored? What was it that one fine morning made my blood race with unknown and irrepressible desires? What infiltrated my veins with wild and bestial impulses? Spontaneous generation does exist, for I am a living specimen. Are there others upon this earth? I don't know. If they do exist, I am not aware of them. Am I the only one of my species? The species of dreamers, of impassioned people who prefer living in the here and now, rather than saving themselves for a potential life after death? And if I belong to a tribe, where is it, and how can I find it? Am I that child who accidentally ended up in a family which is not their own? Or on the contrary, am I nothing but a rotten piece of fruit fallen from the healthy branch of a healthy tree? How do I extract myself from the mold they want to force me into? My reflection in the mirror conforms in every way to the image I portray, bland, unfeeling, calm, indifferent. But I alone know the true being on the other side of the mirror, exhilarated, passionate, free, frivolous, and even lubricious. Day after day, my skin becomes more and more restrictive. I suffocate. I am distressed. Will I molt like a snake? Is it possible to emerge from a wrapping that was too small in order to take on one that is big enough for one's aspirations, one's desires? It is possible. I am sure of it, and I am going to attempt it. Today I have shattered the mirror, left the house, left my family. I have spread my wings and taken flight. Oh, I hear them talking behind my back. Just like Icarus, he's going to burn his wings by flying too close to the sun. He is going to crash into the brick wall of reality and fall so hard that he will never get back up. In his quest for other paths, he will lose himself and go astray. They are certainly right, and that scares me. But what scares me more is pacing that same path, the one they call the straight and narrow, for the next 60 years. I have no choice. Deep down, I am convinced that I am not one of them. I am going to follow my impulses in order to find that unattainable land. I much prefer to live briefly, having satisfied my heart with beautiful feelings, my body with intense passions, and my senses with overwhelming pleasures, than to survive like an empty dinghy on a sterile ocean. One strike of the beak, and the cage is open. 3 wing beats, and I escape through the window. It's all mine now. The black and raging stormy skies, the multi-hued rainbows in the pink dawn, the azure blue of the far distant horizons. I will survive the fangs of the fox in the woods. I will resist the temptation of living a tranquil life in a clearing among the deer's harem, and I will fly higher. I will be the eagle's equal. I will soar by his side, far above the mountains. Thank you.